prominent parts of the area in the afternoon. High today 89 to 91. Then look for a thunder shower in spots early in the evening. Otherwise partly cloudy. Low 72 to 76. Thursday will be partly sunny. High on Thursday 88 to 90. Thunderstorm in spots Friday afternoon with a high of 86 to 91. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Join Gary and Don Crawford of Pinnacle Retirement Advisors for Retirement with Pinnacle, Saturday mornings at 9 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Don't miss Retirement with Pinnacle with Gary and Don Crawford, Saturday mornings at 9. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
This hour of Ocala Talks is brought to you in part by Blockers Furniture. Go see all their specials at blockersfurniture.com.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. On a Wednesday, I'm your host, Tom Schmidt, coming to you from the studios of WOCA Radio here in the Ocala International Airport, just off the runway. It is Wednesday morning, which means Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday mornings. Intern Natalie is in the building.
Good morning.
I got a couple emails yesterday and some Facebook messages about our spirited back and forth.
I'm sure you did.
Nobody's feelings got hurt. We just had a discussion, correct?
Yeah.
People go, one lady said, sounds like you were picking on your intern. I go, I think my intern handled herself fine.
Yeah.
You didn't feel like I was picking on you, did you?
No.
No. So, hey, look, folks, get a little fortitude in you. Natalie's got some. Get a little fortitude in you.
That's right.
So, Natalie, what do you got for me this morning?
So apparently the Department of Homeland Security is warning of domestic extremism spike in the United States.
Around election time, I bet you.
Yeah, well, they state that the looming Supreme Court decision on abortion, an increase in migrants at the United States-Mexico border.
An increase of migrants?
Yeah, that's, yeah.
You mean like 200,000 a day, that increase?
Sure, yeah. And then the midterm elections, obviously, are potential triggers for the extremist violence over the next 6 months.
But if the Department of Homeland Security is saying that, are they saying who they think the extremists are, or where they'll come from?
It doesn't say specifically. It just states that they expect the threat environment to become more dynamic, as several high-profile events could be exploited to justify acts of violence against a range of possible targets.
So the Homeland Security leaves open the door that they're not going to target any one group. They're just going to make sure that extreme views, no matter what side you're on, they're going to be made aware of them. They're going to pay attention to them. And all of this is a fallout from the January 6th debacle of 2020. It was 2021.
Well, they're saying that...
And believe me, the one thing Natalie and I agree on was disgraceful.
Yes. There's no other way to put that.
There's not.
I mean...
It was disgraceful.
That was one of the worst days probably in our history. I mean, there's plenty of bad days in our history,
there's a lot more days that were worse than that day. But
yes,
it was
one of the.
It was disgraceful what happened that day.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yes. They also warned that China, Russia, and Iran, and other nations, they seek to foment divisions within the U.S.
Oh, of course they did.
But they say that domestic violence extremists present the most pressing threat.
Right. And the thing is, we've seen both sides have the ability to be violent. I mean, for anybody that says, and if you are a Republican or you're a person that believes the election was skewed or cheated or taken, however you want to put it, if you still think that justified what happened at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, you're wrong.
Yeah, absolutely
You're
wrong.
Borderline idiotic.
Yes, I agree.
But if you think, because that wasn't a peaceful protest, that That was violence. I mean, peaceful protest doesn't break windows and knock down doors.
Cost
and
people their lives.
People end up dead and there's blood and everything. That's not peaceful protest.
No.
But along those same veins, it irks me to no end. And CNN did it this morning. I'm watching CNN this morning. They go, the peaceful protest of 2020, and they show Portland on fire.
Right.
Okay?
I mean, yeah.
What happened at the Capitol January 6th was a debacle of extraordinary extremes.
Yes.
And it was a federal building, the U.S. Capitol.
Yes.
They burnt a federal building down in Portland. Okay? And that's a federal building. That was not a peaceful protest either.
No.
I think our definition of peaceful protest needs to have an update.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with any of the violence that happened in any of the other protests either.
No.
You know.
You shouldn't. Nobody should. Good morning. You're on Ocala Talks.
Good morning.
Hey, Sonny.
That January 6th debacle was orchestrated. When you see videos of the security waving,
Letting the people in the doors. Yes.
Up the steps, through the doors, holding the doors for these people.
It's a public building, Sonny.
Any setup?
It's a public building, Sonny.
Set up. I got a bridge to sell you.
It's a public building, Sonny.
Yeah, it's a public building, but they don't wave you on when it's considered a protest and a mob shows up.
Generally, they do not. I will give you that.
And secure the perimeter.
Generally, you're 100% correct. I will
think
give
they
you
were.
that. I will give you that. Thanks for the call, Sonny. He's right. There is video of security personnel opening the doors and letting them flow
Sure,
through.
because I think there were some that were involved that agreed with what those people were doing and you know, let them in. But
There's
there were
people-
also a lot that fought very
Right.
hard against.
And in Portland, there's video of them letting them into the lobbies of the federal building in Portland
Yeah.
because they thought what was going on in Portland was okay.
Right. Yeah.
You know, none of this is okay. The thing that makes us the best country in the world, in my opinion, is that we peacefully exchange power
Yes.
every 4 or 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do that this time.
No, which is a travesty. It's horrible.
And I have friends of mine who believe that January 6th was an inevitable event, that it was going to happen because of what had happened throughout the summer, the violent protest in Portland, the violent protest in different places. I have friends that think that's an inevitable event. And even if there's credence to that thought, my mama taught me a long time ago, 2 wrongs
Don't make it right.
don't make a right.
That's right.
Just because a bunch of hooligans took over the downtown area of Seattle, or they took over Wall Street when they occupied Wall Street, or they took over Portland and the Portland mayor didn't do anything to them for taking over the downtown area of Portland and destroy buildings. None of that gave anybody the right to then say, well, they're doing it in Portland and in Seattle and they're doing it in New York. We might as well do it at the Capitol.
Right.
None of that gave anybody permission. Look, and I'm as frustrated as anybody with where we are right now as at an economy. I'm you know, I have no love, unlike my intern here. I have no love for the administration that is in control. I had no love for the administration that was in control before Donald Trump. None of that, though, goes to the point where I think that gives me the justification as an American citizen to go storm. Somebody goes, Tom, well, democracy, when it doesn't work, you got to. The way this democracy works, the democratic republic that we live in, if you don't like it, vote it out.
Yep.
Peaceful transfer of power. And by the way, it's the hatred. It's the unadulterated hatred between each side that it is causing this.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I blame the politicians for that. They keep the rhetoric, they keep the hate,
Yep.
they keep all this going.
Yep.
I put all that at the politicians' feet. Good morning. Am I in trouble?
Hi, good morning, my love.
Am
Well,
I
I
in-
just
am I
have,
in
I have
trouble?
a comment.
Okay.
Oh, you're not in trouble. You're the best husband in the entire universe.
Hey, that's a great comment. Thanks for
Wow.
calling. Okay. What can I do for you there, honey?
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
So, in our Constitution, now correct me if I'm wrong because I know you will. In our Constitution, it says that the citizens of the United States has a duty
to stand up to tyranny.
Overthrow the government.
Right.
If abuses come into power, and again, I don't agree with the sixth either. Like let's make that clear. But historically, and if the historian on the line can correct me if I'm wrong, that usually happens, an overthrow of government, when taxes hit 25% or above. Am I near?
That usually where that happens. You're correct. Overthrow of government usually happen. Well, we're very close, but the overthrow of government, the way the founding forefathers went it, they were talking about a tyrannical, oppressive government that was more like royal or dictatorship. That they weren't talking about a government that you didn't agree with the outcome of the election, so you get to overthrow it.
Right.
No.
That's not what they were thinking.
I'm not saying.
Hey,
I'm not saying I agree with it. I am saying, but at what point?
Well, yeah, and that's the question.
Is something that's not okay finally okay because the citizens of the United States got tired of the corruption and all of the nonsense that actually goes on?
Well, and that is the question.
Get back to the purity.
That is the question.
Back to the purity of what the Okay, now I gotta go
That
to
is the
break.
question.
Love you.
Yep. Bye. That is the question. That is the question. Where's the line? It wasn't January 6th. You crossed that line.
No,
January
yeah.
6th, in my opinion. We got to take a break. We'll be right back after this timeout on WOCA, The Source. And now it's not working.
Things are heating up at Blockers Furniture in Ocala. Hot deals and summertime savings in every department.